Well, good evening, everyone. Hey, Linda Anderson here from Linda Lou Creates. And as always, I'm really happy whenever you join me. I thought it was about time that I opened up. Yes, I just now opened up my June paper pumpkin kit. And it is stunning. I just took a look. There are refills available. So I am going to be getting after those. I love the colors, I love the designs, and I'm going to share with you some alternatives then for this kit. So I always like to do one of each according to the kit directions. So that's what these are. The only thing I did was change the sentiments a little bit. Otherwise, the layouts are exactly as they instruct. So now it's my turn to kind of show a little bit of what I like to do with them then. And so here are the alternatives that I came up with. Navy and the Calypso Coral is a favorite color combination of mine. So I was thrilled to see that. And I just wanted to make sure I used that along with the Daffodil Delight. Anyway, enough gabbing about it all. So let's get going. And let me show you how I made these. So this card, I actually used the inset here where the flowers are. This is not it exactly, but it's already printed on. It's already cut out. It's meant to be used in this way. I just cut it down instead to only get the flowers to be the focal point that I wanted. Now this, the focal image there measures 2 1/4 by 4 inches. Now all of my cardstock layers are just 1/8 of an inch bigger. So that means then that this is 2 3/8 by 4 1/8, this Daffodil Delight. Maybe if I brought in the pieces, it would be a little bit easier to show you. So here's what it looks like cut down. Here's the Daffodil Delight layer that I told you about. The vase, let me show you the stamp set. And sorry, there's going to be an awful glare, I'm sure. But the stamp set, there is the vase in here that I stamped in Night of Navy and then used the cool Welcome In dies. I looked for these too, and they are also still available. So a refill and the dies if you're interested. So that is what I did here. So I stamped it, die cut it out. I have a card base. I'm kind of working backwards here, sorry. All 3 cards are the top folding, 11 by 4 1/4. This happens to be Petal Pink. I have then the DSP that I'm using. This being the Night of Navy comes from the Neutrals 6x6 paper pack. And this one measures, excuse me, 3 3/4 by 5. I have a piece of Night of Navy, like I said, 1/8 of an inch bigger. So that means it's 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. So let me go ahead and get these 2 adhered together. See the cool polka dot on that side? I think I'm going to stick with the big wide stripes though. I really liked how that looked. So I know sometimes I get into I like to have 1/4 of an inch bigger for my mat. And lately I've been in the thinner mats then, and so that means it's only 1/8 of an inch difference then. So you know what, I'm going to go ahead while I'm at it and put this down onto the card base. So, but I had to get navy in here because the Calypso Coral was part of this. So like I said, that is a favorite color combo of mine. So that means with this being the Calypso Coral, that it came out of the Subtles paper pack. So I'll show you the other side then is all the hearts. So those are the designs that you get. It's really cool. I like it that way. Sometimes if you just need a little piece of a particular color, that you can pull out the paper packs and use them. So you're probably wondering what this measures, and I will tell you here in a second. For some reason, I cannot talk and do at the same time. All right, so this is actually 4 1/4 long. The DSP is 1 1/4. The piece of Calypso Coral then is 1 3/8. Again, 4 1/4 long. So I'm going to go ahead now and put this down to the card. All right, so there we go. Now I will show you again what I did by cutting out here that focal image then. So let's go ahead and get that adhered down. So this is really just adhering some things together. I just get so excited when the paper pumpkin arrives that it's like I can't wait to get going on some alternatives. So all right, let's go ahead and get some dimensionals down now. I am also going to pop the vase up. So I'm going to go ahead and get this put down. But I hope everyone is getting themselves all prepped and ready for the 4th of July. I actually have a day off. Everybody in the house has a day off, so it's going to be kind of fun to just chill, relax. So anyway, here we go. Also, what do you generally have on your menu for summertime holidays like this? So we will be doing the usual, the hot dogs, hamburgers, bratwurst, those types of things. So that's kind of what the fam likes. My sentiment, I stamped it in the Night of Navy ink. I used, let me pull it out here, this Happy Labels stamp set. I just needed a couple thank you cards, so that's why I decided to go with that. It's going to hang out over, so that's again why I have just a few dimensionals along the side. Put some glue so that I can have it hang over the focal image then. I'm kind of tucking it up and under the vase a little bit too. It just feels like it all then works together that way. All right, time to embellish. You know me and these festive pearls. I just grab these all the time. So I'm just going to do the center of the flowers, and I am going to call this card done. I got my favorite colors there, the blue and the Calypso, so it makes me happy. So, all right, so card number 1 is done. Let me find a place in this messy desk of mine to put that. Now, here we go. Card number 2. This one, I'm making use of one of the card bases. So let me bring in the one. So here it is as the directions, or as it was intended for the kit. So see how you have both the front and the back done up in that pattern. So I'm like, perfect, I can get 2 cards for sure out of that. So again, I have my top folding card base. This time it is the thick basic white. I also have now that card base that I cut down to 3 3/4 by 5, and I have then the Night of Navy. It is 3 7/8 by 5 and 1/8. So I am going to get these put together. Actually, I should not be putting them together just yet, but hey, we will. On my sample card, I did not put them together right away. because I will show you here in a moment then why I'm saying that. So, all right, but before I do put this down to the card base, let me bring in some of the other ones. Here is the largest stylish shape dies, the circle, out of the vellum cardstock. Now this is why I said that. I had cut off a little piece. I had it overhang and I cut it off, and so that's what I was talking about as far as not putting the pattern paper down to the mat yet, but we're okay with it. We'll take care of that. Now some more pieces here. As you can see, the Balmy Blue, I stamped on that already. This is 1 1/4 by 3 3/4. Now I used, whoops, let me bring this white cardstock in. I used this stamp. And this stamp is kind of cool. It makes me think that it's got like a banner cut here on the end, and that it's kind of rounded or something here. So whenever you stamp it, and if you want to stamp it in a row, here is the rounded part that fits into the banner cut to that angled part then. So you can stamp and then stamp, and it looks like one continuous image then. So kind of cool the way they did that. So I'm going to go ahead, like I said, 1 1/4 by 3 3/4. I'm going to go ahead and adhere this down to my navy, which is then 1 3/8 wide, and it is also 3 3/4. I'm just not going to put it down onto my card front just yet. Now here, this white vase, 2 options. The kit, there are several plain ones, plain white ones like this that you can use, or use those dies. You can cut it out yourself out of white cardstock or any color of cardstock. I have then, I wanted to show you my sentiment, just a note, again, coming from that same Happy Label stamp set. This piece is 1/2 inch wide, and then I just cut it down to the length that I wanted. Now, I'll be honest with you, I'm using then a piece of this card base that I cut up is what I used for my sentiments. So whenever I go to put this down, you're going to see the pattern on this side. So it happened to be laying on my right in front of me, and I just stamped it, and then I realized when I flipped it over, look at that. I didn't use a piece of cardstock. I used the actual scraps from the card base that I cut up. Speaking of scraps, again, I had some scraps of the Night of Navy and Balmy Blue that I went ahead and I adhered these together, and I am putting them across the vase then, just to make it something decorative there. You could certainly stamp. There's a cool little flower. You could use the same stamp that I had here. I probably could have used then this piece that I cut off that I accidentally did my sentiment. But so there's lots of options there. So I am just going to go ahead, adhere that down, and then I'm going to come around here. Where are my scissors? Oh, well, I can't find them right now, so let's just use these. And now I'm just going to go ahead and trim this down. So I thought this was kind of fun. You can kind of make your own design on your vase then, however you would like to do it. So let me just trim this out. There we go. So there. I also have, I seem to have lost my vase, so let me find that in all of my mess. Like I said, you would not believe how messy my desk is. So, all right, so here we go. I found one, and you know, as soon as I put it together, I will find that one that I thought I had ready to go. So, okay, let's get it going here now. So I have this strip that I want to put approximately right here. So I wanted to have the vellum to help me kind of tone down the background for my vases. I just happen to have it over here a bit off of the side of the card, and that's why I said I cut that off. You certainly don't have to. Here, I will put it right up against the card, and it will still work. This will definitely still work. So because I adhered this down, I'm not worried about it. So, all right, so let me go ahead. One thing I am going to trim is a little bit off the bottom, just so I know for sure that it's not going to show no matter where I put this 1 1/4 inch piece here. Okay, so it is vellum. Don't get too crazy with your adhesive, but I am going to put some where I think then the vases are going to be. A little bit at the top, very little. That way, all I have to do is kind of smear it around, make it really super thin, and all should be good. I don't think you'll be able to see it through there. Okay, time to get this strip on. This one's coming along too with all those blues. I was gonna add a pop of another color in here, and then decided against it because you know I love my blues. They are my favorite color. So let's go ahead now, get this put down. And let me just make sure, because I've been known to put it on the wrong direction. So let's not do that. And I'm going to get these to pop up. So the blue, the dark blue one, I'm going to pop up completely. So let me go ahead and get some dimensionals on there. The white one will overlap this vase a little bit, so I don't want dimensionals on that spot. So that's why I'm just gonna start with this one. The white one, I do want to have it a little bit lower. So here I see where I'm going to need a little bit of glue. I'm going to ignore this section with and not put dimensionals there. Let me grab some though, and I will put elsewhere. There we go. And like I said, I don't want them both to be on the same line. Just having one a little bit higher up helps. Just a note, I will go ahead and get that put in here. Now I will overlap this a tiny bit over that blue vase, just sort of like the corner of it, but I'm trying to avoid making sure I don't use at all any of the dimensionals over top of that. That would just then make it kind of bumpy and not lay nice and flat then. Last thing, Festive Pearls. And I actually went with these blue ones. I feel like they're a little bit more along the lines of a pool party, but I thought they would still work. They still had that blue tone to them. Oops, hang on. There's something caught on that one. Here we go. And we'll just get the last two of those in here and say that card number 2 is now complete. It's all the blues. All right, card number 2 done. So let me figure out where I put the other one. And here it is. This one, I'll be honest with you, was a little bit more putzier, if that's a word, than what I am normally doing. The flowers I stamped using the stamp set from the kit, Daffodil Delight and in Calypso Coral. Then use those Welcome In dies to cut them out. The green is Old Olive, and that too, I used the dies and just cut them out. There's no stamp for that, just those, the leaves. So, the Hello Friend comes from the kit. Now, I went ahead and put this together because, like I said, they're small. My fingers don't always work well. I probably should use tweezers, but they're not at my desk right now. And I didn't want to waste your time watching me fumble and bumble around trying to get those 3 flowers put together. I just used a little bit of adhesive on them, and then on the back I used some dimensionals to really make sure that I have them held together in case my adhesive, the tape runner that I used, kind of didn't hold very well. So let me move some things around here so I can start. This time the card base, Night of Navy, again top folding. So I have a piece of basic white, 4 by 5 1/4. Now I have a piece of the Daffodil Delight DSP, which comes from the Brights of that 6 by 6 paper pack. So I really made use of those different paper packs then. So this happens to measure 2.5. Let me get this down real quick. Like I said, I can't talk and do at the same time, it seems. So it's 2.5 by 4. So now I can go ahead and adhere this down to the card base. And there we go. This happens to be, again, from the kit, one of the card bases. So I have the front and back of the card base to use for this. Now, this happens to measure 2 7/8 by 3 7/8, meaning then that my Calypso Coral mat underneath is 3 by 4. All right, so let me go ahead and get these put together. This paper design, let me get this when I bring it around, is actually the same design as part of that Countryside Inn DSP, except it's in blue. I gotta say, I love it in the Calypso, or in the Coral as well. So nicely done Stampin' Up. I really do like that. So, all right, let's go ahead and adhere this down now. So just know, obviously, this one has a bit of a direction, or it has a definite direction, not a bit. So make sure to pay attention whenever you're cutting it up apart and putting it down, that you have them going, your animals going in the correct direction. All right, so here we go. My navy is 1.5 by 2.5. So my white is just 1/8 of an inch smaller. So that means then that it is 1 3/8 by 2 3/8. All right. So let me see. I see a little something. Oh, there, I got it off. Okay. Sometimes I just get a lot of stray bits of things onto my, and why does it always show up so well onto the white? And I'm happy when I'm able to brush it off and you don't see it then. So, all right, so here we go with that. Let me go ahead and get this adhered down with dimensionals. You know I'm not gonna allow that to be without a dimensional in the middle, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and put this down. Now, when it comes to putting, hang on, when it comes to putting the focal image down, those flowers and the sentiment. Again, dimensionals. But then sometimes with where the dimensionals are, that I'm using them to help secure the flower arrangement, I can't get always something in there. So I'm going to go ahead and do it now before adhering this down. I'm going to go ahead and adhere these down, and then I'll take off the backing and get that adhered down also. Because I know with my first card, a couple of them I had to trim some of these off, and this way, do it before you actually adhere this down, and it should work. So let's see. This back up here so I know kind of where I want to put the last leaf down. This is what I mean. I just feel like I don't know if I just don't get my fingers to work or what it is, but some of these little pieces then just, they drive me a little crazy as I take off all of these paper backings off of these little itty bitty mini dimensionals. So, all right, I'm almost there. I promise I will soon be done. All right, here we go. And so there, if I had adhered this down first, then I would have had some issues getting my leaves in underneath. So that's why I thought I would do it that way. Let me find my festive pearls. And this time I'm going to use the gold ones again. If I feel like my image is a little off center, like I feel like I have a lot of white up in this area, that's sometimes where then I will put an embellishment like this. Just to kind of equal it out in your mind's eye. So, all right, and there we go. Card number 3, done. So let me bring back all of the cards. And there we go. These are my 3 alternatives for the paper pumpkin kit. Now, if you're a subscriber, I want you to know that this refill kit is available. I just checked before coming on live. I just might have to put an order in so I can get another one, because I'll tell you what, this is gorgeous. If you are not a Paper Pumpkin subscriber, do so, because next month, well, for July, I guess we are into next month. It's called Fun in the Sun. So it's going to be a lot of bright colors, summery, beach themed cards that are going to be created, and it's going to be just so much fun. So Fun in the Sun is the one that's coming up, and go to paperpumpkin.com, enter my name, Linda Anderson, as the demonstrator that you would like to subscribe under. I would love it, and I think you're going to love it too. So it's so much fun waiting patiently, I should say impatiently if you're like me, for the mail to come with your kit. So anyway, hey guys, thanks so much for joining me, hanging out with me tonight. I hope you have a great 4th of July and have a good week too. I'll see you next time. Bye now.